question I had this morning as I was walking was this: why do some people break under pressure while others thrive? And the reason I was thinking about that is yesterday I saw this clip, a reel with Gary Vee and this lady who created 300 videos. 300 videos, guys, on YouTube. That's a lot. It's even more than I have created so far, and I'm showing up every day. So I know how impressive that is, and it probably took her many years to achieve that. Despite that, she only reaches maybe 20, 30 views per video. Sometimes it goes over maybe 1,000, but so far she hasn't really seen any growth. But what stood out to me most was the comment section. I was going through the comment section, and a lot of people, they resonated with the same pain. There was even one guy that stood out for me, and he said, because Gary Vee basically told her to stop, he said, wow, I'm so grateful that I saw this, because I already decided to take a pause, and this is a confirmation for me to take a pause, because I was mentally suffering, and I actually even had to take medication to help my mind. And it really made me feel sad that people that are so driven, and it takes so much, right, to show up, that it goes to that extent that they actually mentally go down. It already takes so much for someone to even show up. I can tell for myself, I know what it takes to really have the balls to even do it, and then to not just do it, but to continuously show up, and then not to see results to the point where people actually mentally get hurt, where it really affects them. And it brought me back to the time when I was still working in sales. I saw that with my colleagues too. There were the ones that would always thrive, and then there were the ones that would get burnouts, or they would quit the job because the pressure was just too big. In my first real sales job, we had like a 60-40 cut, meaning 60% was a base salary, 40% was verbal. You had to earn that part, and that's only when you reach 100% that you get your full payment out. It gets interesting once you go over it, but even hitting your target was a challenge. Every day I had to travel 3 hours back and forth, so 1.5, just to get to the job, just to get to the office, which started at 8:30. So I had to wake up early every day, and on top of that, it was a sales job, so you constantly have to be on the phone, you constantly are being monitored, your name is on the board. End of the day, they want to know what was your run rate, what are the deals that you're working on, and every next day you start back at zero. And I was thinking, why did I not break? I was walking and thinking, why did I not break? I want to understand what I do. It was not just something that I did in my sales jobs. It is something that I continuously do that I'm not aware of, because I naturally am that way, and it just is a flip in my mind. And for me, I wanted to understand that, because then I can transfer that to you guys. And so I got Chet out, and I just described to him, okay, this is a scenario, this is what I see people getting stuck with. I even saw that back in the sales. And I'm like, what am I doing different? How can I help people with what I do? Because it might be exactly what people need to hear. And then Chet said this. Let me get it out, because he said it so much better. He said, the meaning you give a challenge determines how you experience it. And if you see it as a threat, you experience the stress. If you see it as an invitation, you start looking for opportunities, solutions, and growth. You see challenges not as a threat, but as an invite. And that felt like a mic drop moment. That's when the fun starts. And I know, it's because I embrace growth. I don't see it as a challenge. I'm like, okay, I'm being invited here to step up my game. Like, I may not be an athlete, but I do have a mentality that a lot of great athletes have. And that is determination. And that is not being afraid for challenges. And I think it is a good thing also that I'm not per se an athlete, because if I can do it, so can you. You can all learn that mindset that a top performer, a top athlete needs to excel. And it's not about winning, guys. It is really to embrace your own greatness. It's to embrace the chances and see it as a game and see it as, okay, where am I now invited to pivot? I want to give you a very normal example so that you understand what I'm saying. This is what very recently happened. Back in January, I already started this challenge of showing up every day, right? And then one moment my charger got wet because I'm right now here in the kitchen, right? And here we don't have a dishwasher, so I do the dishes every day. And probably some water leaked and my cable was here and it got destroyed. And so when I wanted to make a video, I saw that it wasn't charging. I saw that my battery was almost low to nothing and I needed that to edit. So I'm like, okay, I have to be very careful with my juice. Let me just show up. Let me just share with the audience what happened here. And that's when I decided I'm just going to use my phone. I'm going to create an episode with my phone. And that day I created my first real vlog, which was really ugly. And I knew it. But I also was like, hey, I'd rather just show up than not, right? But it was the point where I was like, hey, actually, it's not a bad idea to invest in a good camera so that I can do more things also outside. It makes my life bigger. It opens up more expansion. I don't have to be tied to home. Sometimes when I'm traveling and I have to go and do stuff, then I don't have to think of, oh, I first have to create this episode. I can literally take you guys with me and create the episode. And then I saw the roadblocks. The roadblocks being, I don't know if I want to share my private life. I don't know if I want to expose my son. So I had to, with every topic, make decisions, every block that I felt, and make a decision or sometimes change the perspective. And eventually I had passed peace with it, and that's when I invested in my camera, my DJI camera. And that's how my outdoor studio was born. I could have already stopped at the laptop is not going to work because the battery is low. Okay, this is a reason not to show up. Another example, yesterday, as Fico was playing soccer, I was like, you know what, let me get some food on while he's playing. And usually it takes some time for it to be prepared, so I already sent them a message. And on my way there to pick up the food, I probably lost the keys. It flew out of golf cart. I couldn't find it. I knew it obviously where it could be, but I couldn't find it anywhere. And in my being, I just knew I'm gonna get it back. I took a second of just seeing it in my hand, and I'm like, okay, it's fine. I will get home. I have a spare key in our key box here, so I knew we were able to get home, and I was not stressed. I was completely in surrender. I was completely in the knowing of this is gonna sort itself out. The moment I woke up this morning, I did something I never do. I logged in on Facebook. And for the people that know me, I'm never on Facebook. Facebook is something that I use whenever it is needed, but not something that I'm on. And guess what? I went to our local Facebook page. Someone found it. It was posted there, and I picked it up right after dropping the little one off at school. And I'm like, yeah, this is the same thing. It's like, I will find a way, period. You know, I'm not stressed. I was even thinking worst case, even if I can't find it, I have the extra keys here, then I'm just gonna, have them all duplicated. But either way, it's not worth my stress. It's just not worth my stress. It's not worth my peace. It is what it is. And the funny thing is I actually lost a few things lately. So I'm more thinking, okay, why am I losing stuff? And I keep on finding them, but I'm losing stuff. Anyway, going back to the main thing. I see it as an invitation. And if I really tap into what I do, is that there is this fire of not giving up. And this is the nuance, guys. I have stopped many times in my life, even YouTube. This is not the first trial. I have stopped many, many times. But the reason I stopped is because a pause is good. Especially when you don't see it anymore. And, you can take a step back. So I'm not saying that stopping is wrong, but what I am saying is it should never, ever hurt you mentally or physically or whatever. Like, nothing is worth that. Nothing, okay? And you need to take that pause then faster, even before it hits you mentally. But that fire of me is what keeps me going eventually. That fire in me is that is what is then looking for other ways to do it. And I believe that that is this beautiful balance where you have the ability to know when it's time to take a step back or just to stand still, and know when it's time to just go and change it in a moment, and have that freak moment constantly, you know, where you're like, okay, we're not gonna be hurt by it. And the main thing is to have it really be seen as an invitation for growth, as an invitation for expansion, as an invitation to pivot. And then one thing also with the videos, if you look at the first vlog and you look at the things that I create now, in just 4 months time, even shorter, I make the most beautiful edits now. And the reason being is that I didn't let, you know, I didn't stop showing up when my charger wasn't working, right? I was like, let's still show up. That made me use my phone, which for me was not good enough for many reasons. Apart from it being wobbly, I was like, well, if I'm gonna invest in a gimbal, I might as well invest in a camera. I didn't want my storage to be affected and my battery life on a daily basis be affected. So I was like, no, I want to have those separate. And so that's when I decided I'm just gonna have that external camera. Then embracing that meant a learning curve. I'm not interested in learning everything about a camera, but I'm like, you know what? I need it for a few simple things. Let me just focus on that. And that's how I started to learn. Then it was the whole software thing. Riverside was not ideal to edit my DJI footage. It took forever to download. It was horrible to edit. So that's when I found another software, which is CapCut, which is amazing. It works amazing. I'm so happy that I start to create that way. And that way I'm able to do it faster and more dynamic. But everything demanded of me to see it as an invite. I had many times where I could have stopped. You don't want to know the hours I spent wasting trial and error or doing it the wrong way because I didn't have the right way yet. And it didn't make me stop because my commitment was bigger than just making a video for you guys. And eventually I really believe by seeing things as an invitation is what makes a huge difference. When my manager once called me out, I wasn't the victim. I saw it as an invitation to show him who the F I am. And at the same time, it gave me the invitation to look really deep in myself and acknowledge the fact that there was truth in what he said and I didn't like it. And so I had to step up my game for me. And to make this a whole round, I am always a winner, not because I win. I am a winner because I don't let defeat stop me. There's constantly defeat. Losing your keys is defeat. Issues with your technology or with cameras, not having enough views after spending hours of creating something. No loss ever made me believe that it was defeat. It was always an invitation to look for a new way. Or to just release. And I think to be able, like in the chaos of life, to just be able to still have peace, that I can just go to bed and be like, oh, my keys will be found. And literally the moment I wake up, I intuitively go to Facebook and I knew it was gonna be there. Of course it is. Because eventually we're not competing against anything else but this, our mind. So whoever needs this, in whatever area of your life that you're facing defeat, keep this in mind. And you're okay to stop. You're more than okay to pause. But never, ever let defeat hurt you in a way where you're mentally affected. Your mind needs to work for you and not drift. So take over that seat again and know that you're always in demand. You're always the one that is in demand. You're always the one that can change the script and see it as something else. I would have never become this good in storytelling and everything if I didn't allow myself to have that setbacks. It's true setbacks that I am who I am. I also said that in one of my other episodes. We all want love, light, and everything. My life is so crazy beautiful, but it was all created from shit. It was created from pain. It was created from setbacks. And then instead of letting those setbacks determine the rest of your life in a spiral, I did this. Yeah, I've romanticized the fuck out of my life. I did, which is why I'm so proud of it, and which is why I feel so entitled to have it. Entitled, because I created it. I make crazy decisions. It was like, hey, why not? You only live once. Let's go for it. Let's meet life halfway. I have all the reasons to be there, but I use everything to go up and to create for me what is a dream life, where I wake up every day feeling fulfilled. And that's exactly why I'm creating vlogs for you guys every now and then. It's not to say, oh, look at my amazing life. It's to show you what's possible. It's to share the frequency. And it's all real. It is all freaking real. And what makes it real is also that I take moments to have these real conversations with you guys. This is a very important part of my show. Because without this part, that part is empty. But combined, is a full life lived. And I had this viewer of South Africa who made a comment yesterday, and he said, hey, I'm watching all the way from South Africa, and I love how I get to see a glimpse of your life. And I was like, yeah, that's fucking cool. It's like you can reach the whole world. What I'm really giving to you guys is perspective. I don't care about your achievements. I care about how you feel inside. Let that be the most important thing. And it's not even about looking for solutions. It's to be open for solutions, because that's your attitude in life, where life meets you halfway. I was not grinding and looking to find my keys. I knew it would show up. I knew it. And it's not the first time I lost something and I got it back. So I'm like, that's just what happens. If I ever lose something, I will get it back. And so it showed up. It found me, because I'm open for it, because I'm not, like that. And of course I was thinking, how are we gonna get in? Do I still know the code of the key box? And I'm like, I think I still know it. And voila, we got in. And I was just grateful for that. Like, oh, this is such an amazing backup. Life, sometimes it doesn't work. And then you think, oh, what am I doing wrong? It's building you. And maybe for the creators out there that are struggling, yeah, maybe it's time to do something else, to do it in a different way. And maybe it's to find a bigger meaning behind it. Maybe it's both. But nothing should destroy you where you mentally get stuck. Because that means that you place your entire well-being to an outcome. And not everything we get to control. Like, I can show up every day, I get to control that. But I cannot control who's watching, right? I cannot control who it reaches. So why would I then completely let my whole being be dependent on that? Like, same thing with sales. Yeah, I can show up, I can call, I can do all of that. I can learn everything about every product. But if the clients don't sign, or if they go to a competitor, there's only so much you can do, right? And that balance is so important. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in tomorrow's episode.